I still remember the day I found out they had a group chat about me. Not about a project. Not about a deadline. About me. My clothes. My accent. The way I ate my lunch alone in the break room because I didn't have anyone else to sit with. I found it by accident. Someone left their laptop open. And there it was right on the screen in bright blue message bubbles. My name. Laughing emojis. And a screenshot of my own work email, being mocked. I stood there frozen. My hands were literally shaking. And in that moment, something in me broke a little. But stick with me till the end of this video, because what happened after that day changed my life completely. If you've ever felt small in a room full of people who were supposed to be your teammates, if you've ever felt like you were the joke and didn't know why, this story is for you. Hey guys. Before I get into this, if you're new here, welcome. I'm just a regular girl. Nothing special. I'm not a celebrity, I'm not an influencer. I'm just someone who went through something really painful at a job I thought was going to change my life. And I want to share it with you, raw, no filter, exactly how it happened. If this story resonates with you in any way, please hit subscribe, drop a comment, let me know you're out there. Sometimes just knowing someone else understands. That's enough to get through a hard day. Okay, let's get into it. So a little bit about me. I grew up in a small town. Nothing fancy. My parents worked hard, but we never had a lot of extra money. I always told myself, one day, I'm going to get a real job, in a real office, wear a blazer, carry a laptop bag, and actually feel like I made it. When I turned 24, I finally got that chance. I landed a job at a mid-sized marketing company in a bigger city. It wasn't some huge corporation. But to me, it felt like Wall Street. I remember calling my mom from the parking lot after my interview, crying happy tears in my car. I told her, Mom, I got it. I actually got it. I moved 2 hours away from my hometown. I signed a lease on a tiny apartment I could barely afford. I bought 2 new outfits because that's all I could afford at the time. And I planned to rotate them like nobody would notice. You might be wondering, okay, so what went wrong? Well, let me set the scene for you. The office had this small, tight-knit group of girls. 4 of them. They'd all been there for years. They ate lunch together. They went to happy hour together. They even had matching phone cases, if that tells you anything about how close they were. And me? I was the new girl. Different background. Different way of talking. I didn't grow up going to the same college as them. I didn't know the same slang. I didn't get half of their inside jokes. I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to be liked. The first week, honestly, it was fine. A little cold, but fine. People smiled at me in the hallway. My manager seemed happy with my work. I thought, okay, maybe this is just how offices are. People take time to warm up. But slowly, very slowly, I started noticing things. It started small. Really small. The kind of small that makes you think you're imagining it. Like, I'd walk into the break room, and the 4 of them would suddenly go quiet. Not just quiet, like awkward quiet. The kind where you know you were the topic of conversation 2 seconds before you walked in. I told myself, don't overthink it. Maybe they were talking about something private. Maybe it had nothing to do with me. Then it happened again. And again. One day, I wore this yellow blouse. I actually liked it a lot. It was one of my favorite pieces. My aunt got it for me as a graduation gift. I walked past their desks, and I heard one of them whisper, "Oh my God, did you see what she's wearing?" Followed by giggling. I didn't say anything. I just kept walking, feeling my face get hot, feeling this lump form in my throat. I went straight to the bathroom and just stood there, staring at myself in the mirror, wondering what was so wrong with me. You know that feeling when you're trying so hard to convince yourself it's nothing? That's exactly where I was. Then came the group project. My manager assigned me to work with 2 of these girls on a client presentation. I was so excited, honestly. I thought, this is my chance to actually bond with them, to prove myself, to be part of the team. I worked late nights preparing my part. I wanted it to be perfect. I stayed up till 2 in the morning more than once, running through slides, rehearsing what I was going to say. The day of the presentation came. And when it was my turn to speak, nobody backed me up. Worse than that, one of the girls actually contradicted something I said. in front of the client, in front of my manager, even though we had all agreed on that information beforehand. I froze. I stumbled through my words. My manager gave me this look, this disappointed, confused look, like, why didn't you know your own material? After the meeting, I tried to explain what happened. I said, wait, that's not what we agreed on in our prep meeting. And she just shrugged and said, I guess I misunderstood. With a little smile on her face. A smile that told me everything I needed to know. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was intentional. That night, I cried in my car in the parking garage before driving home. I didn't want my roommate to see me crying, so I just sat there, mascara running down my cheeks, wondering if I made a huge mistake moving to this city for this job. You'd think it would stop there. But no, it got worse. I started getting left off email chains. Important ones. Meetings I was supposed to be part of, information I needed for my own tasks. I'd find out about them after the fact, usually because I'd overhear someone mention it in passing. When I brought it up to my manager, gently, trying not to sound like I was complaining, she basically brushed it off. She said, oh, it was probably just an oversight, don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. I heard that phrase so many times during this period of my life that it honestly makes my skin crawl now. There was this one day, and I will never forget this one, where I had a huge project due. I had put in so much work on it. I came in early that morning to print everything out, get organized, make sure I had my presentation folder ready to go. When I opened my folder, my printed documents were gone. Not misplaced. Gone. And in their place, someone had left a sticky note that just said, oops, with a little smiley face. I stood there in the middle of the office, holding this empty folder, my heart pounding, my hands shaking, trying to figure out what to do. I had maybe 20 minutes before my meeting. I ran to the printer, reprinting everything as fast as I could, my hands trembling so badly I could barely hold the paper straight. I made it to the meeting 2 minutes late, out of breath, completely rattled. My manager pulled me aside afterward and said, you need to be more organized. This isn't a good look. I wanted to scream. I wanted to say, someone took my documents on purpose. But who was going to believe me? It would just sound like an excuse. It would just sound like I was pointing fingers because I messed up. This is the part that's really hard to explain if you haven't been through something like this. It's not just one big dramatic event. It's this slow, constant grinding down. Little things, day after day, week after week, that make you start questioning your own reality. I started dreading Sunday nights because that meant Monday was coming. I started getting stomach aches before work. I stopped eating lunch in the break room altogether. I'd just eat at my desk with my headphones in, trying to disappear. I lost weight, not in a healthy way, just from stress. I stopped calling my mom as often because I didn't want her to hear the sadness in my voice. I started doubting every decision I'd ever made about moving to this city, taking this job, believing in myself. And then came the day I told you about at the very beginning of this video. The day I found the group chat. It was a totally normal Tuesday. One of the girls had stepped away from her desk to grab coffee and left her laptop unlocked. I wasn't snooping, I promise you that. I was walking past to grab a stapler from the shared supply cabinet, and her screen just lit up with a new message notification. My name. Right there. In a group chat called, and I'm not even joking, Lunch Squad Forever. I froze for a second. Then, I don't know what came over me, but I looked. Just for a few seconds. Long enough to see message after message about me. My accent. My clothes. A screenshot of an email I'd sent that had one small typo in it, with laughing emojis all over it. Comments about how desperate I seemed to make friends. Comments calling me try hard. I felt like the floor dropped out from under me. My ears started ringing. I remember my whole body just going numb. I walked back to my desk in a daze. I sat down, and I just stared at my computer screen, not really seeing anything. My chest felt tight, like someone was sitting on it. I went to the bathroom and locked myself in a stall. I put my hand over my mouth so nobody would hear me crying. I sat there for I don't know how long. 10 minutes? 20? Time just stopped making sense. You might be wondering, why didn't I just quit right then and there? Why didn't I march up to HR immediately? Honestly, because I was scared. I was scared nobody would believe me. I was scared it would make things worse. I was scared I'd lose the job I moved my whole life for. And underneath all of that fear, there was this quiet, ugly voice in my head whispering, maybe they're right about you. Maybe you really are the problem. That voice. God, that voice was so loud during this time in my life. I want to be really honest with you here, because I think it's important. This isn't easy for me to say, but I think somebody out there needs to hear it. There was a night, maybe 2 weeks after I saw that group chat, where I sat on my bathroom floor and I just broke down completely. I mean completely. I was exhausted. I felt humiliated. I felt like no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much effort I put in, it would never be enough, because the problem wasn't my work. The problem was that a group of people had decided they didn't like me, and nothing I did was going to change that. I remember thinking, what's even the point of trying anymore? What's the point of getting up every morning, putting on a nice outfit, driving to a place where people are laughing at me behind my back? I'm not going to pretend that thought didn't scare me. It did. And if anyone watching this has ever sat on a bathroom floor feeling like that, please talk to someone. Call a friend, call a family member, and if it ever feels like too much to carry, please reach out to a crisis line in your country. You are not alone in this, even when it feels like you are. That night, though, something shifted in me. Not right away, but it planted a seed. I called my mom. It was almost midnight her time, but she picked up anyway, because moms just know. I told her everything. The group chat, the missing documents, the whispers, the presentation, all of it, in one long, messy, tear-filled rant. And my mom, in her calm, steady voice, said something I'll never forget. She said, "Baby, they can talk about you all they want, but the second you let them make you shrink, that's when they win." That sentence sat with me for days. The next morning, I woke up different. I can't fully explain it, but something in me had shifted overnight. I looked in the mirror, and instead of seeing someone weak, someone who didn't belong, I saw someone who had survived weeks of quiet cruelty and was still showing up every single day. I decided, enough is enough. Not in an aggressive way, not in a burn-it-all-down kind of way, but in a quiet, determined way. The first thing I did was start documenting everything. Every email I got left off of. Every meeting I wasn't invited to. Every strange incident, like the missing documents. I wrote down dates, times, details. Not to be dramatic, but because I knew deep down that I needed proof if I was ever going to say something official. The second thing I did, and this took a lot of courage, was I requested a private meeting with HR. I remember sitting in that little glass conference room, my heart pounding so hard I thought they could probably see it through my shirt. I laid it all out calmly with dates and specifics. The missing documents, the email exclusions, the whispered comments, and yes, the group chat, even though I explained clearly that I saw it by accident, not by snooping. The HR representative listened. She took notes. And at the end, she said something that actually surprised me. She said, "This isn't the first complaint we've had about this group." I wasn't the only one. There had been other people before me, other employees who had come and gone quietly, never saying anything, just leaving because they couldn't take it anymore. That hit me hard, because it meant this wasn't about me being too sensitive, or not fitting in, or doing something wrong. This was a pattern of behavior that had probably pushed other people out the door before I even got there. Over the next few weeks, changes started happening. Slowly, but they happened. 2 of the girls were moved to a different department. Not fired, but separated from the team, from each other, and from me. My manager, the same one who used to tell me, "Don't take it personally," actually pulled me aside and apologized. She admitted she hadn't taken my concerns seriously enough, and she said she'd do better going forward. I won't lie to you, it didn't fix everything overnight. The atmosphere in that office was still a little tense for a while. Some people looked at me differently, like I had caused trouble, even though all I did was tell the truth about what was happening to me. But here's the thing. For the first time in months, I could breathe in that office. I could walk into the break room without my stomach twisting into knots. I could send an email without wondering if it was going to end up as a screenshot in some group chat. I started slowly rebuilding my confidence. I started speaking up in meetings again. I started actually contributing ideas instead of shrinking into the background, trying not to be noticed. And something beautiful happened. A couple of other employees, people who had seen what happened, quietly reached out to me. One woman from the accounting department told me she'd gone through something almost identical 2 years before I even started. She said watching me stand up for myself gave her the courage to finally speak up about something that had been bothering her for months too. That's when I realized something really important. When you stay silent about mistreatment, it doesn't just hurt you. It gives permission for that behavior to continue, for the next person, and the person after that. Looking back now, I can see so clearly how much I grew during that period. Even though it was one of the most painful chapters of my life, I learned that not everyone is going to like me, and that's actually okay. I used to think if people didn't like me, it meant something was wrong with me. Now I understand, sometimes people just decide they don't like you before they even really know you. And that says a lot more about them than it does about you. I learned the importance of documentation, keeping records, staying professional, not reacting emotionally in the moment, even when everything inside you wants to scream. It protected me in ways I didn't even realize at the time. I learned that silence protects the wrong people. For weeks, I stayed quiet because I was scared of being labeled dramatic, or difficult, or too sensitive. But staying silent didn't protect me. It just let the behavior continue. And it let me shrink smaller and smaller until I barely recognized myself. And maybe most importantly, I learned that my worth isn't determined by a group chat, or a clique of coworkers, or people who never bothered to actually get to know me. My worth was there long before that job, and it stayed there long after. Eventually, about a year later, I actually left that company. Not because I was pushed out, but because I got a better opportunity somewhere else. One where I felt respected from day one. And you know what's funny? At my new job, one of the very first things I noticed was how kind everyone was. How normal it felt to eat lunch in the break room without anyone going quiet when I walked in. For a long time, I thought that was just how offices were. I thought workplace cruelty was something you just had to accept and push through. But it's not normal. It's not something you should ever have to accept. If you've made it this far in the video, I just want to say, thank you for listening to my story. Genuinely. It's not always easy putting this stuff out into the world, especially something this personal, something that still makes me feel a little vulnerable even talking about it now. But I wanted to share it because I know I'm not the only one. If you're going through something similar right now, if you're sitting there thinking, this is literally my life, I want you to know something. It's not your fault. Their cruelty is a reflection of who they are, not who you are. You don't have to shrink yourself to make other people comfortable. You don't have to accept being treated badly just because you're scared of what happens if you speak up. And you don't have to go through it alone either. Talk to someone. A friend, a family member, HR if you have to. Write things down. Protect yourself. And please remember that this chapter, as painful as it is not your whole story. I want to ask you something before you go. Have you ever gone through something like this at work? A group of people who made you feel small, who tried to push you out, who made you question your own worth. I really want to know. Drop a comment below and tell me your story. I read every single one, and honestly, hearing from you guys is what keeps me going with this channel. If this video helped you feel even a little less alone today, please hit that subscribe button, and give this video a like so more people who are struggling can find it too. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.